What's up, Milwaukee and the world? Welcome to another episode. What's up, Milwaukee and the world? Welcome to another episode of Saved and the City with your girl, Iberia. Yes, you are locked live to the right place at the right time for your kingdom solutions for real world issues. Yeah, you got it right, guys. We cover everything from world culture to church culture and everything in between. I'm so excited for each of you to join me today for us to discuss a really serious topic. You can see my friend Dr. Mario Dickens sitting next to me, and we're going to jump right in to the discussion at hand. We're calling today's episode "A Father's Love." I'm sure you've seen posts going around. Initially, the posts were that Mario's daughter, Phoenix Mariah, and we'll get into the details of that shortly, was abducted. But praise God, she is definitely back in the arms of her family, thanks to the community, to people like you, and thanks for your prayers and all of that. But I know there's a lot of questions that are out there. A lot of people are wondering what happened, how did it happen, what's going on, and we're going to jump right into that. But before we do, I want to give a quick shout out to my weekly sponsors, Mima's Gourmet Delights. Shout out to her over in Butler in 126th and Hampton. I know you've had a few of my mama's cakes.
I love them. Right. Especially the caramel.
It's the perfect answer. I love them. It's so awesome. So shout out to Mima's Gourmet Delights again, right over there in Butler at 126th and Hampton area. If you want to know the specific location or to find out about her specials, just give her a call at 414-418-0616 or visit her at www.mymimas.com. Again, that's www.mymimas.com. And also shout out to Elsie Flanard over at Enterprise Now, and also to Neo Soul Productions. That's where we are right now, filming and taping this particular podcast show. So without further ado, guys, let's jump right into it. Mario gave me a call just the other day. We were talking just about what's been going on, and the initial topic that we were going to discuss on this week's episode was raising our daughters. That was initially, but then with all the things that are going on, I was just thinking about just raising our children, just in general, not just in Milwaukee, but just in the world, in this particular society environment that we have. Literally, you can turn your head and your child is gone, and what do? How do you respond? What's the best next step to take, or how can we be in a place where we can be proactive before something like this does happen again? So instead of just coming up with our own ideas, why not get the facts from the horse's mouth? I'm not calling you a horse, Mario. But let's just get the facts at hand before we jump in. For those people who are just joining and maybe don't know who Mario Dickens is, I don't know how you know. It's billboards, and you've been doing just so many things in the community for so long. But why don't you start by just telling people a little bit about who you are, what you do in the community, and then let's talk about that scare that happened not too long ago.
Well, Mario Dickens Creations is our longest running enterprise. I've been doing printing and graphics here in the community for over 20 years now. We're celebrating that this year. Industry Bosses is one of the largest minority business networks here in the city. We work with a lot of minority businesses to try to help them get their business to the next level. I just finished my tenure as a pastor for 10 years, and that ended this year. And Victory Temple, of course, was my ministry. And so we have done several things. We do our yearly backpack giveaways. We feed the homeless. I work with the senators. I work with the aldermen and community leaders alike to try to help this community thrive and just stop violence. I'm a victim of gun violence myself. Right. I was shot 12 times in 2002. So I've always been an advocate for safety and helping individuals just live a better life and achieve the things that God has purposed them for.
With all you've done in the community and for the community, and then having this happen when your own daughter was abducted, how did that make you feel? Did you feel betrayed in any way by the community that you're serving, and all of a sudden, something like this happens? Or what was your initial response?
Prayer was my initial response.
Come on, yes.
I believe in that. The first thing I did was call on God, before I called my friends, before I called my mother even.
Yeah. So it's not even thought of blame. It's just
it's Jesus. that's what
I know that.
That's the initial thought that went because he was the only one who could get there before me. And
was there the whole time, huh?
Yeah. So that's the initial response, and after that, it's there's some worry.
Yes.
There's doubt. There's concern.
Yes.
It's dramatic. It's horrific. I mean, you're breaking down, but you're trying to stay calm at the same time. My emotions have never been that many different places in such a short period of time. Ever in my life.
Wow.
So
what happened, Mario? Like, how did this occur? I was actually in Wisconsin Dells. Okay. I looked on Facebook, as we all do, just about, start scrolling out, and I see this beautiful face, and it says abducted. And that's all I knew. I knew she was taken, but we don't know. I know there's a lot of people who have that question. How, when, what, why?
Well, I made the post within 20 minutes or so of me finding out. I wanted to, I literally had someone else in the car I was dictating the post to, and exactly what to say and how to say it in the most correct manner, but be direct about it. I got a call from one of my relatives that someone had gone to our family member's house with guns, and that they had held the gun not only to my father, but to also my 12-year-old son who was in the house. And I immediately just, I didn't know what to do. I said, I'll call you back. And so I called my father, and I asked to speak to my son, and I spoke to them. He told me what was happening. The initial call, and I correct myself, the initial call did not say, if the initial call did not say that my daughter was gone.
Oh, yeah, no, you didn't.
The initial call was that there were guns held.
Right, yeah.
And when I got the call, when I called him, he said, well, she's gone. I said, what do you mean? He said, the baby is gone.
Jesus.
And that was that breaking point right there. So we immediately rushed over there. We made the post. I was just rushing to get to my father's aid, of course, to my son.
What do you know? What stopped them from shooting your other family members? Do you know?
My father is a calm man, and I believe that his peacefulness, his peaceful nature would have calmed them down. He made the decision that was best. A lot of my family members were in the house. Had he made a decision to fight for her or made a decision to do anything of that nature, it could have went another way. And so he had to do it out of respect for my 12-year-old son that was there, for my brother that was sleeping, different ones that were in the house.
Okay.
It just made sense to back off and let this happen.
Yes.
I just thank my son. He's 12 years old, but when he got the opportunity, he snuck out the back door with his phone and went outside and made the call to the police.
Wow. Are you able to say, and again, as we kind of shared on the phone, you don't have to say anything that you're uncomfortable with, but was there a motive? Like, why would they just come to your family's house?
Well, I'm aware that there is.
Do you know who the people
that there's surveillance footage. There are cameras, and we're aware that police do have suspect that they know who they are, and are aware of whom they're looking for.
Yeah. So it was personal to you because they took Mariah.
Well, not necessarily to me directly.
Okay.
Everyone has another side of their family.
Sure. Okay.
So if I'm to say that, I can say that the Dickens family had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
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 But I do know that she was the subject of an attack, and although it wasn't directly motivated towards our family,
Okay.
She's in our custody,
Okay.
and she's in our care.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
And so we basically were exposed. Her location was exposed, and we've heard things I can't confirm or deny without the Milwaukee Police's approval.
Okay. Oh, sure.
But we have heard things that certain actions taken from people related to her caused this attack.
Okay, got you. So, okay, we can kind of get back into that in a little bit, but so let's talk about after you find out, you called your father, he says she's gone, you move into panic, kind of desperate father mode. What was the first thing that you did? Well, I know you did the Facebook post, but you started to call some community leaders?
We made the post.
Yeah.
After I made the post, I contacted those that were near to me, that would have been my brothers, my god brothers, and people that I grew up with, and my immediate family.
Yeah.
After I contacted them, I just wanted there to be a safe presence at the house. My mom wasn't the first person I called, but I didn't want her to arrive on the scene without there being a family presence.
Sure.
So I then called my mother. By about 3:15, I started contacting city officials. So Alderman Khalif Rainey, Alderman Russell Stamper, Shantia Lewis. I contacted all three of them literally back to back, just to make sure, because upon arriving on the scene, I had some issues because I was asking the police why hadn't an Amber Alert already gone out, and I felt that they were trying to see if perhaps either we were involved in some kind of wrongdoing, if it was us, and it really upset me.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got upset at the police and started demanding that they get an Amber Alert out here. And when there was a delay, and this is in no way saying that the Milwaukee Police Department did anything wrong. I'm sure they were following their procedures, but my emotional state blinded me from procedure and everything else.
Yeah.
And so I began to just demand as a father that they where is the Amber Alert? And when I noticed that there wasn't one and that my phone wasn't sharing an Amber Alert, then I put out my own alert.
And we saw it.
And so I put it through every network that we have influence over, and every individual that I know that's somebody, and they got it out here.
Yeah, I think the first post I saw wasn't yours. It was actually Tory Lowe. Tory Lowe was, and we definitely know him in the community for, kind of being one of the first to jump in with different issues like that. I did see
he was first on the, he was one of the first people on the scene from a political standpoint. Fresh Start Services was there, Family Welfare, Jermaine Reed, and a lot of other people. But he was one of the first people on the scene, and he was doing everything possible. I know that he wasn't being cooperated with as much. I wasn't able to even really speak to him, but we, me and him were texting back and forth, and he was able to let me know that he was doing some things positively to try to help find her.
Absolutely. And like you said, Shantia Lewis, I saw some of the things, and of course, just the community, the individuals who don't have a title, we saw this, and we were like, no, from Michelle Pitts sharing, Baby Dickens is what she was calling her. I was like, come on, Baby Dickens. Of course, Saving the City, we were, on it trying to share here and there.
It was overwhelming support. I have to say overall, 95, 97% positivity. You got your skeptics, and you got your people that speculate, and they say all of these things. And of course, we want people reporting the truth and the facts. And if we don't even know, we can't be expected to say it. If it's going to affect the investigation or affect the prosecution of the individuals responsible for this, they took my 3-year-old daughter.
That's, I mean, just imagine.
I can't. So if I don't know, if I don't have the answer, I just don't.
Right.
All I can do is just thank God.
Right.
I know when I don't have an answer, I know who to go to.
Absolutely.
I know I went to him. People wanted to know how she was found so fast.
Yeah.
The Bible says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper."
Shout up in here. Absolutely.
I'm not one to take the credit for anything, but I know how to give God glory for everything.
Absolutely.
And this is just one of those situations where I had to move myself out the way completely because I was ineffective. There was nothing I can do sitting in the back of a detective car talking to them, giving them my story. There was nothing I could do after consoling my mother and my family from crying and things. All I could do was hope that the people of God, that the people of this city, that the community, the city of Milwaukee, that everybody would come together to help bring her home. That's all we wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't know the answer. I don't know anything else, but I do know that she back.
Yeah. She's back.
And that's what's important to me.
It is. Do you know where she was found, or did you just get the call that she was found?
Me and the detective were sitting together talking, and one of the other police walked by the window and whispered something in his ear. I seen him smile, and so I was just kind of hoping for about 5 more seconds until he said, "We got her."
Oh, phew.
And you know what? I ain't asked where at first.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Where's she at?
I was like, well, is she on the way here?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know that there were protocols.
How was it that she was gone?
She had been taken about 2 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, she was taken about 2 a.m. and I just don't actually remember what time she was found. I know that was pretty public.
Was it
but
the next day or the same day? Or
same night, you know, it was Labor Day at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
that she's taken. And then she's found within about 7 to 8 hours. And like I said, I don't know, I know people are watching. The Milwaukee Police Department is an excellent department. They worked with us. We obeyed them. We did what they said do.
Yeah.
Even to this point.
Yeah.
They made a promise to me.
Yes.
They said, "We're going to get your daughter."
Yes.
They said, "We don't want you to pay anything.
Yeah.
We don't want you to do this. We just need you to do what we asked you to do." And when we followed the steps that they asked us to do, and thank you to Officer McNair. He was first on the scene.
Awesome.
Officer McNair grabbed her.
Wow.
I forget his first name, but you know we thank you, man.
Thank you.
He was first on the scene, and he got her and pulled her out those bushes that she was in, and you know, she was in the building. I heard somewhere down on 19th Street or 19th and Juno or something like that.
By herself or with these other people? We don't know.
She was found by herself. She had
and just for you guys that don't know, she's 3 years old.
3 years old.
So think about that, a 3-year-old baby girl without her family around her.
Yeah, just no shoes on, just her pants and her shirt. And you know, she came running out. Somehow, I guess there was chatter on the police radios, and some of the family members overheard it and left the scene and ran down there. And so I know that my nephew was on the scene, and he was able to be there as somebody she knew. Her daycare provider was there and able to be there as somebody she knew until she had to go through the abduction protocol. So there's an abduction protocol that the police have, and so there were still hours in between us being able to take her home. But she was unharmed.
What was that moment like when you got to see her again?
You know what? We were just relieved. I mean, I don't know. You only can cry so much.
Right, and then dry up.
And so the most you go kind of from tears to you're in shock.
You're in shock, exactly.
I read an article this morning about a 2-year-old that wasn't recovered, and I've seen so many different things, and I've seen things go so many different ways. You know, we all understand the story of Alexis and different ones here in the city.
Yes, absolutely.
And where things did not go this way. And so when you see so many failed attempts to recover a child, and you hear that yours is missing, this is something that nothing can prepare yourself for, because you don't you want to believe that you're gonna see him, but your mind is already telling you that she gone.
Woo.
So it's not a good state to be in. There's no getting back to normal right away.
Yeah.
You're not normal right now.
Right.
I don't know when we're going to get back to normal.
And just being on guard, I imagine. Now it's just kind of like this.
I was telling Derica yesterday that we're just in a very protective state.
Yes.
You know, folks that you normally would trust, you don't know if you can trust them. There are already people that we believe to be friends that are saying negative things, you know, on the internet and things of that nature, and you think that you're with good people, and they turn on you and say things. You know, it's just been the type of atmosphere that I don't wish on anyone.
Yeah.
I'm happy. She's happy. My mom, my father's happy. My brother, and I thank everybody else that's happy with us.
Yeah.
I believe if you learn how to rejoice with individuals that are rejoicing, you'll be in a great state of mind.
Absolutely.
We ought to have peace with people that are having peace, and we mourn with those who mourn. There's no reason for that to be adverse, you know. And so we're thankful for all the positivity, thankful for all our real friends, thankful for everything. I mean, like she woke me up this morning. You know what I mean? She's like, "Daddy, get up."
Yeah. Right.
And normally I'll be like, go on back to sleep. Let me sleep a little while longer.
Right.
But
I'm sure to wake up.
She's like, no, I want you to get up. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go and get up. But it definitely helps you treasure those moments. My other son, you know, we don't hug much, but I hugged him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's taught me something.
Right.
Just that, you know, it's taught me something just as a father.
Sure.
On to go ahead and make that embrace. You know, go ahead and spend that time. Go ahead and say, I love you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Normally I wouldn't be so affectionate. Now I love you, and are you okay? How was school? You know, I'm asking every question I can.
Yeah.
I'm being more apart than I probably ever been, just because you got to do what's necessary. If something happened to you, it should teach you.
Yes, yes.
And you know, as much as we've done, you know, I'm not the perfect individual, but I'm striving, and this situation has taught me just, you know, be a little closer.
We can't take things for granted, you know, because you never know what tomorrow holds. What would you say to a parent that might be watching even now, or even just a family member who maybe they have a child that's missing, that has been abducted, that may be in a place and they don't have the victory at this stage that you have of having Mariah back in your arms?
My favorite scripture it comes out of Ephesians, it's chapter 3, verse 20. It says, now unto him that is able to do exceeding and abundantly above all that you can ask or think.
Yes,
and it's according to the power, you know, that works in you.
Yes.
I couldn't think about what to do. I didn't know what questions to ask, but I went to God.
Yeah.
I went to a higher power. And I'm like, Lord, I need you. And when you say, well, how do you get results? What better way to get results is go to someone who can give them to you.
Absolutely.
And the Milwaukee police, they had the help of God. Facebook, the posters, they had the help of God. I can't take him out of the equation at all. And so my advice to someone is don't give up. Don't give in. Don't stop. If you feel in your heart that this individual is still out there, if you feel in your heart that I need closure, if you search for something long enough, you'll get the answer.
Absolutely.
But you can't give up. You know, nothing in this life worth having isn't worth working for.
No, I'm so with it, Dr. Mario. This has been absolutely amazing. Thank you for coming on and just sharing your story. And again, for those people who are just joining, or you know, just been listening in the entire time, you know, the thing is, it could have went a different way. There are other people who put posters and Facebook posts, and it's years later, and they're still waiting and hoping and praying that their child, you know, show up. And what Mario's saying is don't give up. So whether it's tomorrow or a year from now, unless you have hardcore evidence that that child is gone, you never know what God can do and how he can turn something around for the good. So be encouraged on that today.
We got to be aware of the sensitive nature of things concerning the child.
Yes.
If you want to speculate about a 25-year-old woman, if you want to talk about somebody that's adult, but when a child is involved, we've got to be sensitive as a community to what and how we say things, to what type of effect that can have on the individual, whether they're the victim, the perpetrator, or whatever. There's two sides to this story. We're not the only family affected. When this man or these individuals are caught and go to jail, they're leaving behind children. There's a whole nother family that's affected here. And the Bible said we got to pray for those that despitefully use us. There are individuals that are just out here doing things that they shouldn't do, but there are innocent people involved that are connected to them. And we've got to learn how to just be careful when there's a child involved or when there's somebody who is innocent in the picture. It's not fair. We're not out here to bash or demonize somebody. All we want is justice. And so our family has not taken the standpoint believe that these individuals may have some people connected to them that's going to hurt. I think what they know it's not. All I want is justice served. We want peace restored, and we want peace amongst the individuals here in this community. We have businesses to run. We have community efforts to still pursue. There are individuals that are affected when you tear down an individual of status. And so you've got to be careful when you're putting your mouth on people that are high status, because they are the individuals that are giving out the food. They're the individuals that are opening their homes and their clothing pantries and their bank accounts and their pocketbooks and stuff. And the last thing you want is individuals like that bitter that have done nothing but been a blessing to you. So just be careful. Handle people with love. Handle them with peace and joy and kindness and respect. And those things, it'll make it come back to you.
Absolutely. This was just another question that just kind of popped in my head. I know Mariah, and is it Mariah or is it Phoenix?
That's her middle name.
Yeah, that's what I thought, right.
It's got some,
because I've been calling her Mariah for years, and I was like, Phoenix.
That's what we call it. I didn't go as far as George Foreman, but I got about 3 M's.
All right. No, I'm with
they all somewhere close to Mario.
I totally get it. It makes perfect sense. Yes. So she came out of this building, so she was not harmed in any way?
No.
Wow.
She wasn't harmed. Physically, scarred, maybe emotionally.
I'm sure.
She's very attached to us at this point. Dropping her off to a family member or child care or anything like that is a struggle at this point.
Absolutely.
She's crying and she's latching on, and it kind of breaks you a little bit.
Right.
Because it make you, you kind of want to tear up a little bit because you're like, man, I don't.
Now she has to deal with this healing.
It's hard to get back to normal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even for a 3-year-old.
What I hear, though, even prior to that last question, is that, with you and your family, you're in a place of forgiveness, which is huge, when it comes down to moving forward. You talked about, how we can't hold grudges. Like you said, you have these other people who now they have children that are going to be, because a lot of people after something like this, they would definitely be in revenge mode.
We can't afford any ongoing feuds.
Yes.
Our children attend the same school as yours.
Yes.
They're in the same churches, sanctuaries, in the same blocks as you.
Yes.
So there's no reason for us to mount an offensive or attack. We need to let the authorities, and that's why they're in place, take care of this situation, and we're out of it. It's not our job. That's what our tax-paying dollars do. And they've been doing a great job so far. I'm not going to stand in their way.
No, I'm with
it. So we're no threat to anyone. We just want to continue on with our life.
Any parting words for the Saved in the City viewers, or any way that we continue to support you in this, kind of forward movement?
Just continue to do what you've always done. Support the businesses that are attached to the